Hey everybody, finally here for the Mass Effect Andromeda strategy guide review. Oh hey, my dog's barking. Uh, so as you know, I reviewed the game for PlayStation Lifestyle, and I did a very quick run through. Guessing the mail is here. I did a very quick run through. Because I had, I think, about maybe 6 days to complete the game, so I didn't do any side quests and blah 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 blah. And obviously, I didn't have the guide then as well. So I started over a brand new game as soon as I got the guide. And so this time I did side quests. I actually did relationships and got a little bit deeper into the game. And so the first thing I can say is that if you do the side quests, you will have a much easier time with the game than I did when I played without really doing side quests, because you're not powered enough, which explains why I died so much. Probably why it took me 10. And the sad thing is if I took that amount of time that I wasted dying to do some of the side quests, I bet it would have taken me the exact same time. Regardless. So here we are with the guide. Now, one thing, the guide is actually fantastic. Like I know I showed earlier about how beautiful it is and all the maps and everything. It's constructed very, very well, and what I mean by that is not just the quality, but that it's very efficient. It's easy to find what you're looking for, especially thanks to these colored little tabs here, so you can really immediately get through, find the primary ops, find the secondary ops, which is like all the relationship quests, tasks. And the cool thing about all of that is that at first I was kind of upset that they weren't organized by planet or system, but they're arranged alphabetically. And at first, the reason why I wanted them arranged by planet is because I wouldn't remember exactly what they were called when I was trying to look up a certain quest. But if you just pause, look at your journal, figure out where you are, you can look it up alphabetically. And I think that way it's not as haphazard as it would have been if it was all organized by galaxy. Not galaxy, but by the planet or by the system. Excuse me. In addition, they probably would have had to make another appendix to do all that, which would have been... The book's fat enough as it is. So I think the way that... Basically what I'm trying to say is, I didn't appreciate it at first, but then the genius came to me later. So I very much enjoyed, how it was organized. Oh dang. So anyway, so I just now noticed something I didn't even know. So I just happened to open it up as the night on the town, and it's the side quest, or no, it's actually one of the main quests on Kadara, where you are at Sloane's party with Reyes. And I just looked over here, and there's a little mini narrative that I didn't know, that if you get too drunk, so I didn't drink anything at the party. I was too busy trying to get through it and figure out what was really going on. So that's right there alone, if I decide to play again, as Scott and make different choices, I'm gonna have to try that. So that's hysterical. So as you can see, there's little bitty things like that, how you can find optional narratives throughout. So for the most part, I really did enjoy the guide. Oh my gosh, my hand is beginning to hurt from holding this up. So for the most part, I did find it very, very helpful, especially when it comes to, oh my gosh, some of the tasks. Now, I didn't do very many tasks because seriously, they don't really get you very much except for, another notch on the completion or some experience, but usually maybe some inventory, but really not that important. And a lot of the tasks, they're not marked on the map, so you have to just decide you're going to go all over Havarl, for example, to find all of the Rokar manifestos. Well, this actually has maps, and it marks exactly where they are, so that you can fast travel to that location and just kind of do your quick little search there. Most of the tasks that I did were ones that are already marked, like the hitting rocks for science, finding the drones, until I realized I don't need to be doing these tasks anymore. They're a big fat waste of time. But yeah, so that's helpful, expedient, because who wants to go search all over Havarl for these random manifestos? doesn't sound like a good time to me. And I think it's the same thing for some of the Ket nodes that are also on Havarl. Like they're not marked on the map. So some people might just like just running around. When I did my missions and my side missions, if I didn't run into it at that time, I had no interest to go back there and just run around for no reason. So anyway, also when it comes to the primary quests, they did a a fabulous job in giving you loadout preferences, like for weapons, which armor maybe you should have crafted or be wearing, which profiles they recommend for loading into, and which companions to bring along with you. Now, on the lower difficulties, it's not as important, but most of these are for the higher difficulties, like, you know, hard, insanity. I think that's as far up as it goes. So, but you know, if you're going that difficult, you know, any tip is good. But aside from all that, as great as the guide was, I did have some complaints about it, and it kind of comes in later in the game. Specifically, like, I was really disappointed that there's not an index in the back. No, sorry, not an index. I'm skipping. There's not an appendix. There's not really an appendix to if you want to, like, I don't think I'm phrasing it right, but like, so there's different appendices that they have, like for the weapons and things like that, but there's not one for the shops. And I would have really appreciated one for the shops, mainly because I went on a toy or a model ship hunt, because I did that in the earlier Mass Effects, and when I found out you could do it here, I really wanted to do it. But it would have been nice to have, you know, some of them can be found in the world, but some of them you can only buy in shops. But it would have been nice just to have an appendix that included the shops, what types of armor were there, weapons, mods. Like, I feel like I could have found so many Nomad paint jobs or Nomad mods, but I couldn't find them. So they might have been in a shop, they might have been hidden somewhere else. The ships, the little toy ships, little random things like that. I guess the male person came back. So just little things like that I would have really appreciated. Or, you know, just, you know, and for the appendices for the weapons, for the armor themselves, they tell you like how much it costs to research, what materials that you need. That's the other thing I would like for the shops. What minerals do you got for me to buy? But yeah, but for the weapons and for the armor, they'll tell you like what minerals you need, or like I should say what crafting components you need, how much it costs to research it, blah blah blah. But it never mentions if you can buy it in a shop and where you can buy it in a shop. You know, by the end of the game, like I had so many credits because I never went shopping, because, you know, I did a lot of crafting. But it would have been nice when I was really trying to get some of my advanced armor, especially for the Pathfinder armor, which was my favorite. It would have I couldn't find enough platinum, and I know there is definitely one world I could go back and continually mine platinum, but it would have been nice to know, like, you know, some tips where to find some more platinum, if there's anywhere I could have bought it. You know, which armor, if I broke down certain armor, which I learned by accident, if you break down the Krogan armor, the Maverick, it yields a lot of platinum. Just little things like that. Especially for the Nomad. I mean, there was no listing in the back of all the things you could do with the Nomad, like the paint jobs, the mods, all those things, how you find those. That kind of stuff would have been nice. I only found 2 paint jobs. The original and this really weird gold one. I don't know if there are anymore. Maybe there aren't. I feel like I'm missing stuff. Also, my other complaint in the back is that they do have the trophy tips. Well, they don't have trophy tips. They list the trophies. I just realized, like, I'm talking too much and don't have the book in front of my face. Nobody wants to see me. They want to see the book. So, like, they list, you know, pretty big list of all the achievements and trophies. It's very, very, you know, you can see it all there, so you can, you know, plan like, okay, so this time I need to, you know, blah blah blah, do all this. I don't think there were any hidden trophies, but at least, like, you can, you know, use this to plan instead of always backing out and looking at the trophy list in the main PlayStation menu. The problem here is that there's no trophy tips. There is nothing in here that says where the best place where the best place is to do this. Um, like for example, let's see. Okay, like for instance, I'm not doing this very well, but let's see. Especially, okay, for example, like this one. Long distance jump. Travel at least 30 meters in a single jump. Well, where's the best place to try something like that? Is it on EOS, like going over a canyon? Is it, is there a better place to do it? Like on, oh, I don't remember what the broken up planet was. Is that the better place to try it? You know, just little things like that. Like this one, like, so here you go, hang time, keep the Nomad airborne for 35 seconds. So that's probably the one I was really thinking of. But even then, long distance jump, where is the best place to do that? Where are the tips? Can you give tips on how to keep the jump going? What are there any mods that you need? Just little things like that would have been good to make this a complete strategy guide. So I do believe the trophy tips and achievement tips, that's part of what makes a guide complete, to give everybody the full amount of information for a game. Little bitty other nitpicky things. There were some wrong page numbers found in the table of contents and in the indices for where certain quests were. Since considering that they're all alphabetical, it wasn't that big of a deal, but that was still there. So, with all that, it's not a bad strategy guide at all. Like, I was really kind of nitpicking. Now, the shops thing really personally bothered me, and the lack of info for the trophies and tips, and where to buy some of the armor and ships, and I'm talking the toy ships, not your actual ship, and little things like that. I think that would have made it a more complete guide. But I'm not saying it's bad. It's a really good guide. It's just little things like that don't make it complete. And as such, that is why I am rating this guide a 4 out of 5. Definitely worth the money. Just go into it knowing that you're going to have to be looking up maybe on YouTube or something for any trophy tips or things like that. Anyway, so now that this is done, I'm on to Horizon Zero Dawn. So excited about that. But so thanks for being so patient with us as we were getting through these massive games. And we have these huge games to do these guides for. So, and we like to do, get it as complete as possible. So anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Thanks again.